Hi everyone, welcome to another video in this series where we will be building an AI agent from scratch. So in this video we will be looking at agent's response in deep. So far we have seen that whenever we were asking question to LLM, the response we were getting, it was unstructured, meaning it was in a prose or a sentence format. But usually when we will be building an agent, it's kind of a workflow where the agent will be called multiple times, and in some cases the response of LLM will be sent to a tool as a next step. And tools usually prefer a structured JSON format of input, and looking at a sentence and then trying to figure out the structure would be difficult. So it's better to have a structured response format from the LLM itself. And all LLMs have a way by which we can enforce a structure of response format, and that's by defining a scheme. So in this example we are defining a schema first. So this is the specific format in which you need to specify the schema. It can be any variable, but it should be an object with the type and then properties. And notice that there is also a separate required key, and you need to specify whichever keys needs to be mandatory in the LLM. So it just in the response, so it just enforces LLM to always provide value for these values. You need to be careful with this format because in case the data doesn't really exist and you have enforced some of the field to be in required format, the LLM will hallucinate and try to give you a made up value. Alright, so yeah, this is an example where we are enforcing that LLM should respond back with a name, email and phone number. And let's look at the example code. Alright, so first thing we did was define a schema of type object where we had name, email and phone number, and we made the name and email field as mandatory. And then we gave it a prompt where the message was, hey, I'm John Smith, shoot me a note at email or ring me on this phone number. And then we are making a call out to the LLM and asking it to extract the contact details. So by just looking at these sentence, it will try to figure out what's the email and what's the phone number. And since LLM is already trained on a lot of data, so it understands what's the format of an email or phone number, and based on its previously trained knowledge, it will try to figure that out. Alright, so let's run the example node structured output. Alright, so here's the response we got from backend. And let's say if I remove the phone number from the initial prompt, and then if I ask the same question again, in this case, since the phone number is not a mandatory field, so the LLM will just skip it. And you see in the response JSON, we only have name and email. But let's say we also made the phone number as a mandatory field. And let's also remove null from here because now we only expect the phone number to be in the string format. And if I ask the same question again, this time the LLM will just hallucinate and make up a new phone number. Okay, in this case it didn't because it thought an empty string is also a good enough value. Let's make it an integer. Okay, so see, this time it just tried to make up a new phone number of value 0. So yeah, that's the reason we need to be careful while defining a required field in the schema. And that's all. Thank you.